Hey, it's Camila Stevenson, and around here we talk wealth. And I'm going to make a comment even about the wealth transfer because a lot of people are waiting day to day. And I see the comments. I appreciate you guys already. Hit that like button, by the way. I think a lot of people are waiting on an event to happen. They're waiting on certainty, they're waiting on confirmation. And I want you to understand that by the time things happen, you're going to be priced out. You're going to be late. The wealth transfer is happening. Okay. We're not waiting for it to happen. So I want to say that off the top because I know a lot of people today are looking at the day to days and they're looking at the prices and they're trying to figure it out. If you don't have enough of these uh, amazing, incredible technologies at your disposal, if I were you, I wouldn't be wanting things to happen quickly. I'd be wanting to accumulate and wanting to buy. Not that, numbers going up don't make us feel good, but I'm saying that I don't want you to be caught up in what's the price today? Did it go up? Is the reverse carry trade coming? I need you to understand the wealth transfer is happening and people are quietly accumulating. Okay. So don't get discouraged. Don't get distracted. It's still happening. And by the time things change, you might think it's happening overnight. Yes, there could be a flip of the switch, but that flip of the switch moment has been unwinding as we speak, month to month, year to year. It's been going. All right. And it's still going. Okay. So stay posed and poised and just continue to accumulate. Right. We're going to get into a lot today. What's up from Puerto Rico? Prices are still on sale. I am still accumulating. This is the greatest time. I am very excited. Like I'm super excited. What's up, Jay? Positive. I like that, Jay Positive. Thank you, Tiffany, for setting the guidelines. I saw another comment. BRICS, a loose band. What is this? Let's see. BRICS, a loose band of emerging powers, is divided over Iran, Brazil, China, Russia all denounced the U.S.-Israeli attacks, but other nations in the BRICS group haven't, even though Iran is a member. Yeah, I mean, and it goes to show you, it proves the point why we all need a neutral bridge asset. We don't need any political motives towards being able to move money. So yeah, you see, you got some nations speaking out against it and denouncing it, and then like India, you got other nations that aren't saying anything. They're like, look, I got money moving between US and Iran. So I don't want to have anything to say, which means that the group is more economic than political in a sense, but we don't need political ties to be able to move money. And that's exactly why XRP is like the chosen. Okay. More than what people realize. Okay. Go ahead and like the video. What's up from Phoenix? I see DC in the house. Texas is in the house. I love it. Right in everyone's face. I mean, and I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna contribute it to or attribute it to it's happening right in front of your face. Okay. It's happening right in front of your face. And people who are sitting up trying to figure out whether or not it's going to really happen or whether or not XRP's price is going to do this or that. Listen, we've been investing for years because we already knew what was going to happen. Okay. A few days, a few weeks, a few months, even another year wouldn't matter to anybody. It is what it is. It's going to happen. Wealth transfers happen like this, and you got everybody looking for the confirmation and looking for things to happen. That's when it's about over. That's the end. You don't, I hope you accumulating if you want the end to come, because if you don't, you will want this to kind of get pushed back a little bit more if you want more time to accumulate. I'm okay. I'm patient, right? Italy, what's going on in the house? LA. I just want to get y'all minds positioned to understand that we're not in here to be impatient about what can happen. We're looking for the signs. We look at the signals. We position just like they position. And that is what we are doing. Would you buy Canton? Would I buy Canton, Till, or SHX today? Well, SHX just hit a 3-month low, so I'd probably be buying that. But I'm also really big on fast settlement. And that is kind of my theme in my accumulation of assets. as to be a priority. And so nothing against Canton. I love Canton, but they're still testing out some of these technologies. SHX lives on top of Stellar, XLM, and y'all know I'm a Stellar fan, right? So I like fast settlement, right? And you have Ripple. Ripple, they're accumulating SHX. They own a lot of it. They're accumulating it. So again, I follow the liquidity. I follow the money. Nothing against Canton. I think it'll do well, and I actually have some. All right. I've been buying it too. Right. But my priority has been fast settlement because I understand the technology. I understand the solution that it brings to the world we're in, where we have tensions and rivalries and trust issues and having to depend on intermediaries to move money. And so I can resonate with that a little bit better. So um some of these, let me just say this, like if we have some level of like event where things crash. Now, y'all remember, I've been saying for a long time, I didn't want to buy like the stocks and things like that at high prices. I don't want to buy this stuff at all-time highs. And I kept saying we're due for some pullback. We're due for some crashes, whatever that looks like. Even with cryptocurrency, we're structuring at the bottom, right? But I still think there's some behavior patterns that haven't been fulfilled that would not allow me to believe that the bottom is in. So, but I'm still participating, okay? And you should participate in things that you're getting educated about. Like you may not like XRP like I do, but you know what I mean? That's where my education has gone towards. Wherever your conviction and your education is, I think that's that's the direction you should invest. So even people who don't agree with me with XRP, and I get a lot of FUD talk and all of this other stuff, XRP, look at the price, blah, 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 blah. We should be able to understand or agree on the principle that you should invest where your convictions are and where you're most educated in things that you believe in. Okay. So we can kind of meet each other there. But I believe that the wealth transfer is in the buy, right? And so how are you going to get a wealth transfer in something that isn't like suppressed or undervalued? How do you, there is no wealth transfer in assets that are not undervalued. So if you're looking for a asset that is valued at the right price, you're not gonna. The whole point is that when it's overlooked, beat down, suppressed, undervalued, and you're able to get in while everybody else is afraid because they're afraid because they're looking at the price as an equivalent to the value of it. But you see where things are headed and you're looking behind closed doors at what institutions have been doing along the years. And it's not there in your face. By the time it comes in your face, it's too late. You're too late. Okay. And so that's the wrong direction when people are waiting for the finality and for the confirmation. It's too late at that point. Okay. So yeah, buy and invest in things that you need. I don't know, but I mean we're forming a bottom. Okay. People are afraid. Some people have exited out of crypto. They're like, I can't take all this volatility. I'm done. And that's what happens in a bear market is that people exit out. They're afraid. I think when we get to the people like myself who are strong for something and you push it down even further to get those people out as well. Like I'm talking it's beyond like extreme fear. I mean, we've already been to 5. Like that's, I mean, you only 5 points from 0. But I'm talking about when people who have been bullish for years all of a sudden turn bearish. Like I'm talking, I think they want to get everybody, as many people as possible, to capitulate. And then that's right when the reversal happens. So I don't know, but the behavior is still not matching 100% reversal. But that doesn't mean it can't move in a different direction. You know what I mean? But I think the worst part is over. I just think that we're kind of moving sideways right now. I think Bitcoin is going to go down some more personally. But even if it doesn't, and I'll buy Bitcoin if it go down, to certain levels, right? So I'm curious about XDC. I like XDC. All right, and I'm going to get into some updates. XRP, XLM, HBAR Quant, Crypto, XDC, Stronghold, Chainlink, and Algo have a purpose in our everyday lives in the new currency. And this is so good. Thank you, first of all, for the generosity. This is so good. I like all of these. And you gotta ask yourselves, everyone, if we do have a crash, do you think everything is going to survive? Some things will not rebound. The way you have to look at this is you got to figure out where capital is going to rotate. Where is capital moving, right? Do you think capital is going to move into like meme coins if we do get a crash? And by the way, the meme coins are going to do the worst if we, we already down as we can possibly be. I mean, it's not much further you can go down, but if in a flash crash, yeah, XRP could drop all the way down to 70 cents or something like that. That's half off of even where it is now. And even where it is now, to accumulate where it is now, even if you get to all-time highs, you're looking at a great percentage, right? So, but you just got to remember that some stuff will get beat down to where it can't recover. So you guys have better make sure you're putting your investments in use case scenarios for these cryptocurrencies, for these coins. Nothing I say is financial advice. Everything that I say is for educational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. So please do not listen to what I say and then go and, lose all your money investing. You have to make your own decisions according to your own education. Speak to your financial advisor. But I am not that. So I don't want you guys, when I tell you to do something, what I'm really saying is, this is what I would do if I were you. I would not be investing at this point in nothing that does not have utility. Okay. Because some of these coins are not going to recover, especially with the Clarity Act coming out. That is, you got to think, with the Clarity Act coming out soon, where are institutions putting their capital? Oh, or you can just go ahead and research yourself and see where the capital is going. I already know where the capital is going. Okay. I already know where it's headed. And so that is where, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's a great question. Yeah, I've heard of Jake Claver's domino theory, right? And so he's been talking about it for a couple of years. And a lot of people were upset at him because at the end of the year, when I tell you, y'all, it was the funnest New Year's Eve of my life. It was like a comedy show, how upset people got. And, not that I feel bad for people who went all in when they shouldn't have. I guess I don't know, maybe they needed that money, because anytime things pull back, if you can't handle a 50% pullback, you're over leveraged, right? So you don't want to be over leveraged in assets. Like, you got to you got to make sure that you're doing this the right way. You don't want to put your rent money, your mortgage money, your money for your bills and stuff like that, and your kids to eat in a volatile space. It is still speculative, the way the price is moving, and it is still overly, what I underestimated. I was thinking about this today. I underestimated how manipulated cryptocurrency was, right? But anyway, I laughed so hard because people were so upset at Jake. And I'm like, why are these people so upset? Like, you are in control of your own money. I don't care what nobody say. If you bought based on somebody's predictions, then you did that. You better figure out what you did wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and not that he clearly was giving events that you should be watching for. And when these events happen, you may see this happen or whatever, but you can never be. I mean, do you know how many people make predictions? Tom Lee's predictions was off too. A lot of people made predictions about where the S&P 500 would go. It came close to, but some people said it was going to be over 700 at the end of the year. And it didn't get, it did that after the new year. So I'm just saying that to say, like, nobody is ever 100%. So if you put all your money, and you should, now it's one thing if you felt like, okay, he brought awareness to it and now I'm intelligently creating a position, that's one thing. But shame on you. If you like, I mean, they was cussing him out, and I was just laughing because I'm like, these are your decisions. People are so irresponsible. I swear they are so irresponsible, victimized, and just, oh my goodness. Like, if I make a bad decision with my money, and it's a bad, I don't care if he said or whoever said, if you couldn't handle a pullback or that event not taking place on the new year, if you couldn't handle that, you should not have invested your money. Like, people were investing, but not to the point where, like, if the bell rings, like, my whole life is going to come crumbling down. Like, so anyway, I'm sorry to say that, but I was cracking up because they was like, I trusted you. And, like, you beep, 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 beep. Like, I'm like, but you put your money there and you need to get educated. Like, why are you putting your money in an investment that you're not educated about? Right? Like, sorry, but everybody has to take responsibility. Your expectations are yours alone. And I always say that. I keep telling people your expectations are yours. Mine are mine. And I make decisions based on my expectations and what I feel. But trust me, my expectations are, I created structures that protect me. So my expectations are long term. That protects me. If you trying to make a buck tomorrow, I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna be sad and crying every single time. I pulled my XRP from the exchanges, opened an account with Caleb and Brown, plus an account with I Trust. As you said, thanks for the suggestions. Thank you, America Caver. I appreciate you even sharing that and being generous about this. And I'm happy you said that, because my interview with Caleb and Brown comes out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that, because he answers a lot of questions about how they do their services. And it's absolutely amazing. I would be getting my stuff off the exchanges. When there's volatility, if something happens, you're not gonna, the spread and the slippage, and you don't have deep liquidity when you have those issues. You need enough liquidity. The liquidity thins very quickly with the volatility. You know what I'm saying? On the exchanges. With Caleb and Brown, they have deep liquidity. So you're going to get your buy and sell orders. Okay. They had no problem with October 10th last year. And he's going to talk a little bit about that. And then a Wednesday at 4:30 Central Time, I will be on here with I Trust Capital. They'll be answering some of your questions. I'll get to any more of the super chats. I want to share some updates, and I want to get you guys let's see. The problem with Jay Claver is he's extremely confident. He made everyone believe he was almost 100% certain, but you got to be the one who believes. So still, it goes back to you. Why do you believe? Do you believe because he said it? Or do you believe because you did your own research and you agree with it? But if you did your own research and agree with it, then you wouldn't be upset when it didn't happen, because you might say, you know what, I did my own research and I agree with this. And but maybe it's just not going to happen now. My thesis hasn't changed. My ideas of everything that I've been seeing and all the signals haven't changed. So the only thing that hasn't changed is that it didn't move when I thought it would move. Right? If that's the only thing that's not a strong surrender, you guys. Like, that's not a strong surrender, because if I say I believe XRP is going to have institutional adoption at scale, and I predict, it's going to happen tomorrow, and it don't happen tomorrow, what changed? Did my thesis change? Did my idea of what would happen with XRP in the future change, or did it just not happen on my timeline? So, you know what I'm saying? That's not enough to surrender. But the only people who would be upset is those who felt like the prediction means that it doesn't happen. And if you come to that conclusion, then that means you didn't do enough research. You have to be responsible. I don't care which way anybody swing it. I'm that person. Like, I am very sensitive and empathetic for people who are making the wrong moves. But I am that person. You will never get me to bounce back an idea that makes you comfortable with not taking responsibility for a decision you made. I'm not the person that'll ever give you that like comfort zone. I am always going to say, yeah, but you still did something wrong. You still believed in something you didn't research enough of. You still believed in something that you not know. So you didn't know much about. And if you didn't know much about it, then you only put a little bit in there. You only put a little bit because your education hasn't matched it yet. You don't go all in on something. You know what I'm saying? You scale in. And obviously people who were that angry, probably maybe they put all of that's the way I looked at it. I was like, these people, the anger that they have, they must have put everything there. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just not that person. and I get the other side of things, but everybody got their graces. Like other people, like I was always the mediator of the friend when two people are arguing, and I'm gonna come to this person. I don't care who right or wrong. I'm gonna come to this person and I'm gonna tell them what they did wrong, and then I'm gonna go to that person and tell them what they did wrong. Because I don't have any other power, and you don't have any other power outside of that. You can't change what other people do, say, and believe, and all of that other stuff. All you can change is you. And so that's what I do for people is I show them what they could have done differently. So I'm saying, if you get that upset, you got to say, man, shame on me. I should have maybe looked into this a little bit more, or I shouldn't have been so fanatic about the time, or I should have even thought, well, there's a possibility this could or could not happen. So let me position myself where it doesn't hurt me or damage me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I do to myself, y'all. So I can't, like, your decisions are yours. Like, you know what I'm saying? It may not be your fault, but it's always your responsibility. Okay. So, yeah, beside, oh, you can't get in because of the state you live in. So you can't get either of them. Caleb and Brown is, you should be able to get, Caleb and Brown. And it depends on where, because maybe you out of the country or something. Right now, Anchorage, I mean, there's other places that you can put your money, but it's going to be a fee for you to hold them there. So right now I would just stick to holding them. If you can't find a brokerage account that you feel comfortable with, right now, I would just hold it in a cold wallet. I believe in making sure that you hold them in a cold wallet, as well. Yeah. So, I saw some, I'm looking at some of your, I'm looking at some of your comments. Let me get to the comment, and then I'm gonna share some things. Glad it didn't happen. So I'm excited that it didn't happen. Like, I didn't think it was gonna happen anyway. Honestly, it would have been nice. I kept telling you guys I don't think it's gonna happen that quick. But remember, I did say, but if I was proven wrong, I wouldn't be mad about it. Hey, prove me wrong. It don't matter. But I'm super excited that it didn't, because again, I've had more time to accumulate. I've had more time to put some away, even for, you know what I'm saying, my nieces, my nephews, and stuff like that. Even though I could give them some of mine, but I'm just saying, like, I'm happy it didn't. Jake knows insider info. If everything happened like he said it did when he predicted, he go to jail, and a lot of folks yeah, I mean, possibility. Maybe he was just like getting people prepared for something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But my thought is, even if Jake should be the person that makes you say, let me look into this. See, again, I've been studying XRP for quite some time. I'm gonna get to some more of the super chats. So like when people come out and say, whether they say I'm for XRP or against XRP, my stuff don't change. I don't care. If somebody came to my, oh no, it's not gonna do that. That doesn't move me, right? Because I've done my own due diligence. So if anything, maybe he could say something that make you think, oh, well, let me investigate this. And then you have to investigate. And then you match your investments with your investigation. Okay. So that you don't get upset. This is a game of psychology, guys, right? This is a game of psychology. You know what I'm saying? So you have to protect yourself. Like, and DC, yeah, I told you guys I've been accumulating for years, just DCA and just reallocating stuff that I was spending on food and other stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a game plan. Thank you so much, Loris. You got to have a game plan in place. Thank you. I appreciate this. Let us comment. Do you still feel we get a full-blown RCT and the crisis moment XRP needs will be created in the near future? I do. I do think we get it. Now, will Japan kick things a little bit further down? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, this is what I say. So the reverse carry trade is something that's unwinding. That is a huge possibility. I've always said that. Okay. I've always had a couple of outcomes for how XRP goes up to its price, right? And I do believe it involves a crisis. Okay. I believe it involves a crisis, a liquidity crisis. So however we get to that is what I think will happen. Okay. In order for it to be utilized. Now, the reverse carry trade just happens to be a situation that we're dealing with in real time that makes sense for something like that to happen. But nothing is 100% guaranteed. Okay. But do we get a liquidity crisis at some moment? Do we get some kind of like something to make every crisis ends up in a transition? Look at any transition we've ever had. You know what I'm saying? And this looks to be you know, unwinding the way, you know what I'm saying? Like we're going to get a crisis. We're going to get something. Okay. And we're in the middle of it, by the way. So, um, and I love this. I'm only willing to invest what I'm willing to. That's the way I've always done my assets. Is that if this goes to zero, oh well. You know what I'm saying? Like it's done in a way that it protects you in a sense. You know what I mean? Um, well, I've talked about this a lot. First of all, remember I've said I've never given a price for XRP, right? I've always said I believe it'll go to like in the future. And I always say I don't know if it's 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, but in the future, I do believe it goes to 4 and 5 digits. That's just my conviction. And I've given you a lot of different ideas about why that will happen. And at the center of it all, I don't want to go back into it right now because I do want to get through some updates. At the center of it all, it lies between the fact that it's made for institutions, and institutions move money in large amounts, and they cannot utilize XRP at a low cost. It doesn't give them deep enough liquidity to move currencies, to move value. All right. And so it's not made for us, it's made for them. So banks don't move $1,000. Like they move large amounts of money. And in order for them to do that freely with one another, they have to, it has to have enough liquidity. You know what I mean? It has to be deep liquidity, meaning it cannot be priced low. They're not going to be able to utilize it if it's priced low. And that is an objection that I think has been overcome. We just don't know about it. Like that has to be the first objection, one of the first objections from a bank when they're introduced with a neutral bridge asset to move money, which is like, well, what happens if the price changes when it gets to you? You know what I mean? Like we can't have slippage. That type of stuff only happens at low amounts, right? Where there's not enough liquidity. And so I think that would have been something that they probably already know. We just don't know that it has to be priced high. So that's one avenue. There's a lot of different avenues that I don't want to get into, but I'm gonna get to oh wait, one more super chat. I want to get to I took my XRP off Robinhood, but lost some money transferred to Zaman and MoonPay and Flare, learning about Firefly. Okay. Yeah, and Firefly is what Caleb and Brown also uses as well. But good thing you took it off Robinhood because, like, again, what they did with GameStop, I don't like. And I don't like cryptocurrency on a regular brokerage account. Like, I don't even like that idea. So I'm happy that you did at least get a chance to move your money because, like, that is not, I missed a super chat. I'm gonna go back and I want to make sure I get them all. I'm happy you moved it. Thanks for your generosity, as a matter of fact. And thank you also for your generosity. Got my iTrust Capital. Yes. Both accounts. Ledger Nano. Yes. Yes. I have Ledger Nano as well. I got a lot of co-wallets, guys. And Caleb and Brown on deck. Yes. What is your opinion on Firefly? And would you be able to guide me on starting an LLC on a 90-day course? Yeah. Definitely will be able to guide you on starting an LLC and getting all that structure in place because you're going to need it. You want to be able to protect you and your assets, right? Firefly is great. Caleb and Brown in the interview, because he does it, he helps break it down even better than I can, honestly. And so that's why I interview him but that video comes out tomorrow. So watch that interview. And he actually talks about Firefly and how your crypto is kept safe and how it belongs to you, like it doesn't belong to them, and how it's protected and everything. He goes through that in detail. And this is awesome. Like I love that you're getting everything organized. That's what we need to be doing right now. We need to be spending time getting some of this stuff organized, right? And so thank you. I appreciate this. But yes, I will be able to help you with your LLC, give you all the steps, everything that you need to do to get that going in detail. Okay. So you can have everything structured the way you need to. But we got time for the game plan, y'all. Let me go down and make sure I'm hitting all the. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much, Jay Positive. I appreciate this again. Thank you, everyone. Created my Caleb and Brown account today. Yes, but have verification issues. Okay, with iTrust Capital, they call me. We got to square it away. I appreciate you even sharing this. And for anybody in the community, when you go through the link, if you go to support and you want to contact them, they will let them know that you're a part of my community and that I sent you. they'll make sure you're good. I had a few people that were trying to move things, and they get back to you and they walk you through it. And so they're very hospitable with all of that. So if anybody run into any problems, you can contact them and let them know you come from me. And I'm happy you got it squared away. I love it. I love it. See, you guys are, let me tell y'all something. A lot of people don't get this stuff set in structure. A lot of people are going to be taken off guard. I was just telling my coaching group today that yeah, oil is down, it's back down, but it does, you know, a lot of, and some of them are using their reserves and stuff. I walk through that a little bit just to let you know, but we're still in some situations with the Strait of Hormuz that, you know what I mean, like a lot of the insurance companies, a lot of that stuff still gets triggered. But I was just telling somebody, telling my coaching group that, you know, the same characteristics that it take to make money is not the same characteristics that it take to keep money. Okay, so there's a different personality that has to come upon you when you talk about preservation, structure, you know, leveraging and all of that. Then making money, making money, you got to grind, you got to focus, you got that energy, you're aggressive, but that's also the same personality that can make you lose the money because you become like a risk taker and stuff like that. And so we got to be able to develop the two. Okay, the difference right now, again, the wealth transfer is happening. We're seeing where institution and capital is rotating their money and what they're rotating in. And then you got to think about where is their money going after the Clarity Act, right? The difference with everything that we're looking at right now between people who won't make it on the other side is understanding what you're looking at. Everything is all connected, right? I've talked about, and I won't go into it, like everything that's going, you know, with oil going up, everything that comes with. It's not just the gas station, right? It's your food, it's your packaging, it's the manufacturing, all of it. Okay. And so just understanding every single step in the chain of, you know, from creation to delivery or packaging or whatever is used by energy. Okay. Now, so your energy bills, your gas, your food, you may see some of that stuff go up. And sometimes there's a delay reaction. Okay. Because the market, they're pricing it, the market prices in what they know and what they think they know and all of that. The moment something becomes like, if the market is pricing in, oh, this war is not going to last long, and then it comes out like, oh, it's going to last longer than what you expected, the market is then going to reprice that back in. Okay, so some of this, like, we're looking day to day, but we don't know. There's so much uncertainty we don't understand. But let me help you to understand or identify something that you probably haven't been paying attention to. Okay, and I just want to make sure I'm not. Oh, and I'm going on with my members, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more in depth about my positioning. I'm going to talk about another stock that I got into to help hedge me during this time, because it's all about positioning and entering into the right plays. So I'm going to go a lot deeper when I meet with my members right after this live. And thank you so much for sharing that. I Trust is the best. Been with them for a while. Amazing company, and support is top notch. And I tell people that all the time. That's why I partner with them, because I was with them before then. I'm like, man, y'all are amazing. Like, I've been with you guys for quite some time, and I've had to have help with them, and they're just amazing. They really are. I'll get to some more. I want to share this. I want to share this because I was also sharing this so that you can think about this. When you, a lot of people don't realize also what's about to get hit. Okay, when you refine oil. All these people talking about institutional custody. Well, you know what? The thing, Electro Soul, is that no, you haven't missed much, Michelle. The thing is that everybody has their different take on it. Like, for me, you got people, if all of their crypto is in a cold wallet, smash the like button. Yes, I love that. And subscribe if you haven't. If all of your crypto is on a cold wallet, you have to figure out, does that make you sleep well at night? Okay. Like, are you going to be able to pass it on to your kids? Are they going to understand your C words? Do you know, if everything is all in one place, it's easier. It's just like so I don't understand how people feel like you have a brokerage account, like a Vanguard or Charles and Schwab. Everybody's cool with having a brokerage account for like stocks, but nobody's cool with having an institutional custody account to make sure that there is some safety with even passing on your assets to your kids, because it's easy to have beneficiaries. Like, I don't like everything in one place. So everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe I do believe in self-custody. And I tell people this all the time. Do have self-custody. But let me just tell you something, Electro Soul. And this is just from somebody who understands people and behavior patterns. I could never, ever, ever sell this to my mom or my sister. I could never get them to, even if they understood crypto, they will never invest in a self-custody. Never. I won't even be able to get them to do it. It's too complicated, right? So there are some people who will never do self-custody. See, I'm a great person. I understand all personality types, right? There's not like one personality type. We get it. And as much as I want you to get it, that you need self-custody, which I tell people, even if you're doing institutional custody, that you still need sovereignty. I always say that. That's always been my stance. But it is difficult for some people. It's a learning curve. And what happens if somebody's like, if I'm like, well, you got to get your crypto into a self-custody right away. If I tell everybody that will make somebody not buy for the next year. But if I tell them, you know what, you got stocks, right? You got the traditional stock. Okay, open up a brokerage account and buy some crypto there. Would you rather let somebody wait a year trying to figure out what, and then it's just a blockage in like information to the point where it handicaps them and they cannot get over inertia? Because that's the biggest part, is people getting over inertia, people being able to be activated to move. And I have to fight with people all the time when I tell them this about health, when they're like, oh, you telling people about health. And it's like, I'm not trying to get them to go to the moon. I'm trying to get them to take a step like a baby would. It's like trying to get a baby to get up and run. You're not going to get them. They got to overcome this. Right. And so I would say things as far as health that people disagree with it, because these are hardcore educated people who understand health and fasting and all this other stuff. And then you tell them something simple that could just get them standing up, getting from having a sedentary lifestyle and standing up and getting some more steps in, right? But people who are hardcore, they black and white. Y'all, I ain't black and white. I understand people and humanity, and everybody don't do things the same way. Now, as you get educated and as you move forward, I'll present other things, and you have to stack on top of that intelligence. But if you take somebody from 0 to 100, that mental blockage is going to stop them. That lack of confidence is going to stop them. So no, I do not believe in telling everybody you can only do cold wallets. My mom would never do a cold wallet. Okay. Like, y'all got to understand that. Like, no, she's not gonna understand no seed phrases and all this other stuff. Even my twin sister would never do it. I have a twin sister. She would never. And she would never come on here because she don't do people like that. But yes, the link is in the description. And so, and I am not the person. So take me, for example. I don't want all my stuff in one location. I do want to work with an institutional backed custody account that is insured, that will give, rewards and appreciation. And you know what I'm saying? But I also have a cold wallet. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, over 8 cold wallets. Okay. So I believe in cold wallets for all you hardcore people. But I also understand psychology, and that's from counseling all my years and being in psychology. My degree is in psychology. I got an advanced degree in counseling. Trust me, I know people, and you got to process through people's psychology. Information doesn't work all the time. You got to go through people's programming. Okay. So if you can get them to start there, then they might get intrigued and start learning and stuff. And then they might get to buy some more crypto and say, oh, I want a cold wallet. Okay. So you got to understand how people are wired. You got to understand. Yeah. People have psychology. People just so hardcore and stuff. They think stuff is black and white. It's not. Not even Jesus ministered like that. He understood psychology. That's why he talked in parables. That's why he spoke to people's heart, and he used parables and stories and stuff that people can understand. Nobody just makes you know what I mean? Like, you got to take a step one by one. It's a little hot in here, so I got to turn down my heat. So let me explain to you a little bit what is happening right now. And I just said that for people who I get it. I get it. And I actually agree that it's sovereignty to have co-op, but I don't agree that that's the only way. I don't like that. Okay. All right. So So I speak through the knowledge of behaviorism. Okay. So but you may have your audience, and your audience is called to the hardcore people who understand all things crypto, who know how to move. Hex, I had a problem yesterday going into Hashpack from several years back that I connected from my Ledger Nano, and was trying to get back in there, connect to my Ledger Nano, do an install update, and then move it onto my Epilol. I always mess that word up or whatever, but I have a Titan 2.0, and I was trying to work through that. And you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I got to go back and get my old cold wallet because I forgot that the hash pack went through the ledger, and now I got to connect the ledger to the hash pack in order to move this over here. Like, everybody is not going to understand that. Okay. So you just got to understand that your audience probably is to people who are like high level understanding of the blockchain, cold wallets, and all of that. Somebody say I can't. Right. Like, um and I won't be right now. Right now I won't be doing and I get that, you know what I'm saying? Right now I'm not participating in any of it right now, other than I do have a little bit wrapped in, but it's just for research purposes. Okay. Now, the oil, I want you to know this. I'm going to share a few things, and then I'm going to go with my members. Remember, 92% of the world's sulfur supply comes directly from oil and gas refining. Okay, so if oil refining is down, and this is what I was explaining to my coaching group, you're going to lose sulfur. Okay, and sulfur gets converted to sulfuric acid, and so I keep messing this name up. I was doing it with my coaching people, but sulfuric acid is how you get copper and cobalt out of the ground. So there's a chemical process that happens that you need that acid to get that metal out. Okay. So I do want you to understand, I'm giving you a signal. I've already been in this. Okay. That less oil means less sulfur, and less sulfur means less sulfuric acid, and less acid means less copper coming out of the ground. Okay. So I want you to realize how copper is in everything. Okay. Your phone, the laptop you're on, or if you're on a laptop right now, y'all probably on y'all phones. I'm on a laptop. Your car, wires, chips, circuit boards, everything, technology, everything, AI stuff, chips, all of that, data centers, all of that includes copper. Okay. And so I just wanted to point that out because oil, if as oil prices go up, and it becomes harder to the demand, the supply, and all of that is going to affect copper at some point. But I think copper will have its heyday at some point. Okay. So I did want you to know that copper in our body. Somebody said, I got copper in my walls. Okay. I got them in my walls. Right. So I do want to say, you're so right. I can't get my family to understand. It's funny. You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I'm about to lose my wife. Oh, say I'm going crazy. Oh, they saying you going crazy. Yeah. And so sometimes if you give somebody roofing gutters, that's right, Mike. Sometimes if you give people, like I would never communicate with my family, with my mom, about cryptocurrency being, I wouldn't even bring up cold wallet. It would just detour, like, yeah, it's certain stuff people are not ready to comprehend. And if they're not, and people don't invest in, most people are not going to get involved in something they can't understand. So it's an art to get people to understand cryptocurrency, these digital investments. It's already hard. It's already enough. What I try to do is kind of provoke you guys to get a lot of education. And that's why I try to bring a lot of education, because I know without it, you're not going to grow. You're not going to scale. You're not going to be confident in investing in them unless I bring education. And I understand that. You know what I'm saying? I have a gift of teaching. So that's a strength, and just understanding personality types and what they can handle and what they can't. And so I try to cater to like those who are starting and those who are experienced in this space. And I myself I'm also learning. Okay. So yeah, I'm just giving you the signals because the signals are always there way before the move happens. Okay. And that's why people are not getting XRP, because the move that they want haven't happened, but the signals are always there first. Okay. Right. Girl, what you talking about? A cold wallet? You put it in the fridge or something? That's exactly that's so yeah, that's exactly it. You know, but again, there's the different personality types. But I believe in cold wallets, but I also believe in institutional. We can disagree. You know what I'm saying? I feel safe. I feel like if something, like even if something happened and people trying to figure out the cold wallet or get access to your stuff, I feel like they'll be able to get immediate access to an institutional brokerage account, and they'll be able to have access very easily. You're gonna have to give. Y'all got to understand this. Y'all got to do a educational a series. You have to lead whatever's in your will. You better lead them a digital series of teaching your family, if they don't know it yet, how to access a cold wallet. If all your stuff, so let me ask, I guarantee you this. Most people who have all their stuff on a cold wallet, they do not have a USB drive or some kind of way for that their family probably to access. How do I get access to this? If you don't have that, you're not even structured right. You're not even structured right, because your kids, whoever your beneficiaries are, if they don't know what you know, right? When you leave an inheritance for your children's children, education comes with that, because they got to know how to manage money. They have to know how to access the money. They have to know what to do with the money. So if you're not doing that part also, then you're still not setting yourself up to leave an inheritance for your children's children, right? You have to be able to educate. You have to leave behind something where they can integrate into a foundation, a structure, or whatever. So maybe that will be in your will. So that's something to think about. Inside of your will, you need to have some videos that's walking them through how to access that cold wallet and how to be able to leverage it and what to do with the cryptocurrency and all of that, so that they don't go spend it and go buy a jet or something. Okay. Um, Thank you so much, Anthony. If you're still buying and holding the biggest scam in history. Is this saying like if you're still buying or holding the biggest scam in history? Oh, I don't really quite know if I get that one. All right. Yes. Why man leave an inheritance? Okay. All right. Let me walk you through something really quickly, and then I'm gonna go on with my members or whatever, because I want you to also understand what we're dealing with the banks and stuff. Because again, I'm giving you signals to look for. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to just how this is tying into XRP, right? And how XRP makes a lot of sense with what's happening. So when you understand what's happening, even with oil right now, you understand why the system that we're dealing with is under pressure. The question that ties into this is if XRP right now, because the banks are, of course, still battling, even with the Clarity Act. And I try to help you guys to understand this. If XRP is built to move money faster and cheaper, why are the bigger banks kind of fighting some of this regulatory clarity and things like that? Now, let me show you first. Let me paint a picture of how money moves so you can understand. The more I help you to understand, you can see why XRP is built for something like this and why they're going to need it. Okay. Now, imagine you have a local restaurant, right? So that restaurant needs to order supplies, and they need to order supplies from another country. Okay. So they go to their local bank and they say, listen, I need to move some money overseas. Okay. Just a simple thing. Now, what happens behind the scenes with that is that your local bank can't just send and move money directly. They don't have the connections to do that in a local bank. So what they're going to do is they're going to go to one of the big banks, like your JP Morgans and your Citibanks and all of that. And they're going to essentially say, hey, can you move this for us? And then the big bank going to say, yeah, I can move this for you. Okay. But you know what? You got to pay me a fee to move that. Right. And then now think about when you're looking at just a simple setup like that. Think about how many transactions like that happen every day from businesses, people, every payment crossing border. All of it is flowing through the same big banks, all of them, who all what? Collect a fee every single time, forever and ever. Okay. Now, understand with big banks, this is not a side business for them, y'all. This is one of their most reliable revenue streams. Okay. And they don't pay you nothing for it. All right. Go look and see how much you make it. They don't pay you nothing. Okay. This is how they make money, and is built into the foundation of how the global financial system operates as we speak. So now here you got XRP come along. Okay. What if we, say, what if we build neutral rails? What if any bank anywhere in the world could move money directly? Now, again, we're talking banks and institutions, so they're moving large amounts of money. This is not for, you know what I'm saying? So what if we have the banks moving money, okay, everywhere in the world? They can move it directly without going through any type of gatekeeper, any type of intermediary, without paying rent to their own competitor. You already know what's going to happen. The people who profit from having an intermediary, okay, the people who profit from that, from being in the middle of this fight, they are not going to want to just give that up. Okay. Why? Because they're protecting billions of dollars in annual revenue. That's where their money comes from. Even just like you having your money in a bank and stuff. If you start moving that money into other stuff, they're going to fight it. And think about it like this, because again, I'm a health coach, and I used to have to tell people this all the time. Like, you got a farmer, because I love raw milk. Okay. I love raw milk. Okay. And it's great. And for anybody who's never had it, think about drinking processed orange juice from the grocery store, and then think about drinking fresh squeezed orange juice. That's the difference. Okay. It's just much better. Once you taste it, you're not going to want to go back. Right. But you have a farmer who raises the cow. What happens? The cow produces the milk. And guess what? That milk is rich in natural probiotics. That's why I love raw milk. Natural probiotics, enzymes, vitamin D. It comes straight from the source, and it's consumed by human beings, and it's been that way for thousands of years. And then, one day, here come the middleman getting involved. The government does stepped in and said, okay, we need to process this, we need to pasteurize it, we need to homogenize it. You know what I'm saying? We need to run it through our system before it gets to you. And then by the time that milk reaches the shelf, or inside the grocery stores, everything is gone. They done stripped away the probiotics. They done stripped away the vitamin D. They done stripped away all the natural enzymes from everything. And they give you a synthetic version that's added back in. And then you pay more for less, because they done stripped everything good of it. And if you want the real thing, I don't know if you all notice, like if you go to like an Amish grocery store or something, you actually have to sign a sheet saying that this isn't for you, it's for your cat. Because raw milk is legally only for animals. It's not for human beings. And so they have to like MicroStrategy down 17 billion, man. And if Bitcoin go lower, that's going to be crazy. The Amish stores usually sell it. There's store, you got to look at your, like, what stores are around you to see, because you got to work with farmers and stuff like that. Okay. It's not as easy to get unless you have like an Amish store, or you have farms around you that sells milk, that where you can go straight to the farmer. They don't want you to go straight to the farmer. Okay. So I'm trying to help you to understand another quick analogy. If you think about the internet, right? Before the internet, if you wanted to send information across the country, you had to go through whoever owned the telephone lines. So they're the ones that set the price. They're going to control the speed, and then they decide who's going to get access. Okay. So they fought the internet every step of the way. Why? Because the internet made the middleman optional. Like, you're not needed anymore. Okay. And then, but look at what happened, right? We got the internet. So I'm trying to explain to you what is playing out with money right now. And then with the war accelerating it, that makes a difference too. Because right now, like, you have banks in South Korea, Japan, India, they're all scrambling right now to settle energy trades, even as we speak still. And the old rails are congested. If you understand how the old rails work, they're congested. They're getting more expensive. They're getting slower at the moment where we need them to be faster. Okay. And while all of that is happening, hear me out, because I want you to understand this. And then, like, when I come back on, I'm gonna help everybody to know what's the XRP rich list. But all while that's happening, hear me out, and I'm gonna get to the super chat. The XRP ledger is processing more transactions. Did y'all hear what I just said? The XRP ledger, as we speak, is processing more transactions. On-chain usage is going up. Settlement activity is increasing. Let me say that again, because I need you to hear it. The price is going down, and the network being used is going up. Y'all better watch the signals and not the noise. I'm telling y'all, watch the signals. Okay. That's not what a failing technology looks like for those who don't get it. That is what infrastructure under pressure looks like. This is what it looks like when something is needed. Okay. Now, when it gets needed at scale, you're going to see a difference. But the price and the technology are telling two completely different stories right now. And I have been around long enough to know that eventually they will converge. The price always catches up to reality. So stop looking at the price, right? Trust me, they will converge at the right time. You just got to be patient. But guess what? That's what wealth is built on, the people who are patient. So I don't want y'all to lose signal sight of this. Watch the signals. Where is the money going? What's happening with the ledger? Why y'all still looking at the price? And I can tell you now, I can tell you right now, okay, private citizen. Well, you invest in what you want to invest in. Why y'all get so emotional about this? Why are you so emotional about the fact that I'm saying something that you disagree with, right? And who's to say that your stuff isn't lies, right? Like, see, people get so emotional about this stuff. I don't know why. Were you burned? I get it. If you were burned, if you invested in it and your money went down or whatever, because you're still here listening to me right now. Like, I get it. If some of you all have lost money, I know that you're upset about it. Okay. Don't invest in what you don't believe in. It's just that simple. Instead of using the energy to get mad at somebody else's conviction, take that same energy and invest in assets that you believe in. It's just that simple, right? That kind of personality and that kind of, you know what I'm saying, impatience is gonna, if you have lost money or if you're upset about that, that's gonna leave you back in the same cycle. Like, you got to get calm about this stuff. Y'all know what I tell people who angry: go do some deep breathing. It's really on demand calmness, right? So, and I do think the weak are going to be weeded out. And this isn't something that you should ever get upset at. I would never get upset that somebody is saying, I believe in this company and I'm investing my money. Who gets mad at that? That's weird. Why do people get upset at that? I'd be like, oh, okay, interesting. Okay, maybe I agree, maybe I don't agree. Maybe I do, go check it out and look at it. And maybe who gets mad at that? Why is that? Why does this stuff make people so mad, y'all? Bought $50 XRP. Love to see it. I DCA and I DCA as myself. I DCA myself. I don't need a background. I don't need a background to know what I believe in and do my research. And why do I have to prove this to you? You don't believe in it. Why would I want to prove to somebody who don't believe in an asset? Right? Why would I need to prove that to you? You don't believe in it. Just go and invest in things that you believe in. It's just that simple. One thing I learned about people is they don't like simplicity. They like complex things. They like to be complicated. Okay. I won't give you any more attention after this, by the way. So you can continue to, chat, but I won't. I'm going to look at some of the other comments before I go on with the members. But just, it's a simple thing. Take the simple road, dude. Take the simple road. I promise. It'll be in your favor, and you will save all that energy from being mad at somebody else for believing in something. I don't need to prove to you a background or anything. All of us do all of us are doing our own research and investigating what we are going to invest in, right? XRP goes deep. Why is it going to be the currency? On why it's going to be the currency. Yeah. I mean, enough information is out there for people to make their own I believe this to be true too. Love it. Christians are in the house, right on the spot. XRP all the way. Yes. And yeah, and like I said, everybody may not believe in it, but that's okay. All right. That's okay. Matthew say, grow your own food, drink raw milk, follow the Most High Creator, Yahweh, and just sit back and chill. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate this. I appreciate. Okay, let me go to the super chat about Iraqi dinar, Vietnamese dong, and the Zimbabwe dollar. Zimbabwe, yeah. Do you think those currencies will be reevaluated during the global reset, and will they be back one for one? Because I've lost a lot. I think the dinar might do very, very well. I can't tell you the rest of them because I haven't been following that currency. Honestly, to be truthful and transparent, I haven't been much invested in trying to do any research on them, but I do believe that the dinar is going to do very well. That's just my personal belief. And hopefully you did your research and, before you invested in them. Vietnamese may do well as well. I would think so, but I'm not sure about Dong in Zimbabwe. I am not sure about the thing about the my thought is, when as we're dealing with a global reset, I'm thinking of infrastructure and utility and assets that would help to stabilize currency in a sense, or help money move. So that's why I've been all in, for me, on settlement infrastructure to begin with. Now, there's a lot of people who are totally like the Iraqi dinar. Like, some people think it will outperform XRP. I can't say it won't. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people think it will. I mean, only time will tell. You know what I'm saying? But my thought is that if you have your thesis, you have your group of like assets that you believe in, that you're going to invest in, just make it make sense while you're hedging, because we always got 4 seasons. The way I built my portfolio is to hedge all 4 seasons. Okay. So as long as and that's actually what I want to talk about with my members, is how to, because there's some people who are hardcore precious metals, hardcore cryptocurrency, hardcore stocks and bonds, hardcore real estate. You got to find a way. If you are hardcore in one direction, you still got to find a way that if these are your strongest positions, that you figure out how to like have some complementary with the other assets that you want to invest in, so that when one go up, the other go down, and vice versa. You have to hedge yourself. And that's one of the things that Ray Diola talk about a whole lot, is that there are 4 seasons, and everything doesn't Scott go to the moon all at the same time. And so, and really what you're hedging yourself against is not really the asset, it's really you, like your level of fear. Because when something is tanking, it does something to you. And if you have another asset that might supplement, like gold, for example, everybody know it's a safe haven. If you have another asset that can help keep you stable and keep you from panicking, and because we all make decisions from a place of emotionalism, right? So it's really to just guard your emotions, to know I feel safe. I don't feel like I'm a panic. I don't feel like my whole portfolio is about to fall apart. And that's the problem with people who are over leveraged in cryptocurrency. It is super manipulated. It's super volatile. And then they don't have a hedge. They have nothing else. They don't have a real foundation. And so now, unless you're, again, somebody who's like, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, I'm going all in. Yes, I get it. If you're just starting, if I were just starting and I was going all in, I'd be going all in on XRP and fast settlement utility coins. Okay. I'd be going in on, Chainlink and Solana and HBAR and SHX and XLM and, you know what I mean? Ondo. I love Ondo. Like, I'd be going in on some of these, real world assets. Okay. And then of course I'd be hedging myself, you know what I mean? Like with real money. Okay. There's only like, there's not a lot of real money out there, and it definitely ain't the dollar. All right. Probably leveraged. Yeah, some people are over leveraged. But yeah, I appreciate your generosity also with that last super chat. And I'll look a little bit more into some of the other currencies that you guys are interested in, by the way, because Bitcoin maxis get very, very mad. Oh, and maybe that is, yeah, maybe he's a big, I'm like, Jesus, calm down. It ain't even that serious. Oh my goodness, people are be peopling. Oh God, Jesus. All right, I'm looking to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. That's all. I'm just scrolling. Scrolling. All right, so I am about to. Okay, good. I'm about to go on with my members, and but somebody said I like that. Somebody said the dinar. Yeah, I mean, I saw it in the dinar when I do better than XRP. I've been in that area many times, and it barely rose above the dollar. Okay, forget it, Texas. Okay, so somebody got an opinion about that, and I just want to share it. And yeah, I mean, I just happened to see, I don't know where it was at that I saw this, but I saw the question being asked, and I think what was on there was like Shiba Inu, XRP, the dinar, and something else. I can't remember what it's on the tip of my tongue. It's one more that they had on there. Luna Classic. And they was asking which one. And a lot of people had Well, I think Luna Classic won, but they had the Iraqi dinar at number 2, right? So I'm not saying I believed in it, but I'm just saying there's people who believe in it. Yeah. All right. So with time will tell, guys. My interview for tomorrow, the interview is pre-recorded, so it'll be out. I'll probably release it in, around 12 o'clock Central Time, 4:30 p.m. Wednesday. I will be live with I Trust Capital. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate don't get I appreciate I like Zebek. I won't go through all of these, but yeah, I'll be back on. I'll answer some more questions about this. But I appreciate you guys rocking for my members. Oh, by the way, if you have not already opened up your iTrust account, they are offering a $100 free funding bonus. Okay. If you're not already open up an account. So once you fund your account, they will give you $100 and you can invest that in whatever asset you believe in, whether it's Bitcoin or XRP. You know what I mean? It's just free money if you fund your account. Remember, they got the Roth IRA, tax-free. Your taxes appreciate with no taxes. That's another benefit of having a brokerage account, because if you do happen to have some sell point entries or some exit points where you sell, you will have to think about taxes with that. And of course, the government is going to want their share. So you have a tax-free account. You also have the premium custody account where you can trade gold and silver that's backed by real gold and silver. And then they have the treasury account where you can do the LLC. Also, for anybody who wants some hand-on guidance for this, just click the link in the description. Also, we are still taking people in our community. And so if you want a real framework around this and you're not just watching the videos and not really having an action plan, and you need some help with that, knowing your numbers, understanding your risk, having someone in your corner when the market gets loud, because it's real noisy right now. And a lot of people don't know what to do other than get emotional about it. But that's what we do inside our community. All the links are below for that. And if you do not have your cold wallet, please, there's a Tangent link, also 10% off. And they're giving a bonus of some free Bitcoin, I believe, when you open up an account with that link as well. So do get your cold wallet in place. Tangent is real simple, very affordable, and very easy. You use it like a credit card. Okay, so if you don't have your cold wallet, go ahead and get your cold wallet. They made it simple. I think that would be the only cold wallet I suggest for my mom and sister. But even just the idea of it, I don't think that they would do it. All right. Which option trust? If you want a Roth IRA, that's where you pay no taxes. You would go that route. But remember, a Roth IRA is long term. You have to have it for 5 years, and you pull out at 59 and a half, I believe. But remember, whatever you put in a Roth IRA, if I'm not mistaken, you can pull out. So if you put 10,000 in, I always use this example, and it appreciates to 100,000. You can't pull the 90,000 out because that's the appreciation, but you can pull the 10,000 out at any time, right? The premium custody account doesn't have those type of restrictions. So if you're not thinking long term about saving on taxes, I'd go with the premium custody account. If you do want those tax benefits, I'd put a little bit in the Roth IRA. To me, it's a no-brainer. I do both, because like long term, whatever these prices get to, you will not have to pay taxes on it. And that's just a no-brainer to me. Also, Caleb and Brown links is in the description as well. That video will come out tomorrow morning. Again, 4:30 Wednesday live. I Trust Capital will be here answering your questions. So please make sure you are there, because we're going to talk markets too. He's a very intelligent guy who I'm going to be interviewing. His name is Jared. And so you're not going to want to miss that. Okay. For everybody else, again, I'll be back on with my members. We're going to dive in even deeper, and we're going to talk about positioning, how to get that foundation and how to hedge yourself. And we're just going to go a little bit deeper. Y'all know how we do in membership. And as always, I want you to stay wise, stay wealthy, and I'll see you in the next video.